Good to see you. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley here with you on this Monday afternoon. Monday afternoon here as we talk all about your Piedmont weather. It's the first day of autumn, at least officially now, so we're into the fall season. And a couple of things we're going to be following throughout the week here. We have a lot of warmth, even some heat for the next couple of days to get through. By the end of the week, for a change, we have some increased rain chances. That's something that we'll be following going into Thursday, Friday, even a little bit into Saturday. And then some question marks when it comes to the tropics once we get past the weekend and into early next week. So lots to get to. Thanks for being here with us. Let's start off with the first day of autumn. Oh, yes. Yes, it is called the autumnal equinox. Yes, it is. Let's take a look at it. What we mean when we say the equinox, it means that the sun is now shining directly over the equator. So at this time of year, we see that the sun is really shining right overhead on today's date of the equator. So what does that mean? Well, it means that in our path around the sun throughout the year, half of it we're tilted toward the sunshine, half of it we're tilted away from the sun. Of course, we know that as summer tilting towards it and winter tilting away from it. Right now, we're in between. And yes, this is that time of year where our solar angle is kind of in the middle. The sun is not too high, not too low. It's kind of right in the middle. But we are heading to those shortest days of the season, the shortest days of the year, which of course happen in December. And then after December, we'll start to see days getting longer again, going into the springtime. Getting back to the forecast, I do expect that we're going to see some hot weather with mid to upper 80s over the next couple of days, then rain getting a little bit more likely toward the end of the week, and then something that we're watching in the tropics as more activity possibly getting going by early next week. Let's talk a little bit more about that. In the meantime, still pretty quiet in our part of the world. You can see there's not a lot going on locally, but we do have a lot of showers and storms, even severe weather in places like Kentucky and Ohio. Thankfully for us, we're not going to see anything bad. We're not actually going to see any bad weather at all, but they do have a storm risk up that way. For us, we're going to start to stay pretty quiet the next few afternoons, but the warmth and the humidity are going to be on the increase. Our overall flow of moisture and our flow of warmth is coming in out of the south and out of the west. So where is that direction? Well, it's mostly directing itself over the Gulf. So I see some heat and humidity kind of peaking over the next couple of days. I do expect us to be in the mid 80s for tomorrow, and then some upper 80s for the day on Wednesday. So the next 2 days look to be pretty warm and pretty humid too at times. So let's keep an eye on that. Now you start to kind of get the idea of where we're going. Once we get to Wednesday, notice this front out to the west of us. You see how there are these scattered showers and storms out ahead of that front? That's what we could start to see by Thursday. So going through the week, Thursday night into Friday, look to have those days where we could see some rainfall. And in fact, it might even be a little heavy every now and again. On Thursday, there is some risk of flash flooding, not just for the mountains here where they have a level 2, but also for our area, depending on how many scattered downpours we might be able to see. On Friday, all of us are in a level 1 risk for flash flooding as well. So both of those days have some potential with rainfall that could result in a couple of flood warnings. Now, rain totals during that time frame, it's going to vary. This is the rain potential over the next 7 days. So a full week of forecast here. How much rain could you possibly see? Well, we're looking in the 1 to 2 inch category for our area. Now, this is not set in stone, it's just potential, but something we'll want to keep an eye on. The best chances for rain in my mind would be Thursday night into Friday, and then a little bit lower, most of this kind of tailing off as we get into the day on Saturday. To show you a computer model idea on this situation, here's what it has for Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Notice here, seeing some showers and storms possibly popping up Thursday night, and then as we go into Friday, a little bit more widespread. It could be morning, midday, afternoon, that you have some scattered rain across the area, and not all of it would be light either. Some of this could actually be a little bit on the heavier side, so we'll be watching that very carefully throughout the day on Friday. Let's go beyond that through the weekend. Most of the action trending offshore at that point. We're going to keep at least a low chance of rain in our forecast, though, so we'll be watching that. For the weekend itself, really the end of the week, what we have is a big dip in the jet stream. So when you have a big dip like that, you're encouraging a lot of moisture flow from the south and from the west. That's something that's going to stick around through Saturday and through Sunday. So this could allow those rain chances to continue to form. And it's possible that if anything were to happen in the tropics, we could get some moisture from that also. And so we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled Sunday, Monday, into Tuesday. You might notice that this forecast model does actually have a little bit of a hurricane or a tropical storm offshore. Some of that moisture could get pulled our direction. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. This is what we would call an upper level low. And sometimes when they're sitting just to the west of you, they can bring in some rainfall. So a little bit of uncertainty in the forecast there, but something we'll keep you posted on as we get a little closer. In the tropics, boy, this looks a lot different. You remember last week, that horrible, pathetic looking little tropical disturbance? That was Gabrielle. Well, now it's a Category 4 major hurricane. Thank goodness it's passing off to the east of Bermuda. Not by too much either. The center of the storm is just about 200 miles away from Bermuda, but they're fine and we're fine too. That system's going to go farther and farther away. Two systems that we are looking at, though, going into next week. This area shaded in red, this is an area that's likely to develop, but probably will take a path pretty similar to Gabrielle. This one here in orange, that's one that we're going to follow a bit more carefully. It's possible we could see some development there as we go into Sunday and Monday, and this one might get a little bit more close to our area, and it could bring some rainfall or even some wind, especially to the North Carolina coast. So something we'll want to keep an eye on going into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Are there impacts from the tropics? We just don't know that yet. So we'll be keeping you posted. Back to the forecast as we go into tonight. A pretty nice evening. Can't rule out some patchy fog going into tomorrow morning, but it is something we'll keep an eye on. Temperatures will be in the low 60s. For tomorrow, it's another warm day of weather. We're in the mid 80s for highs. And again, heat is one of the talkers. We're talking about heat, a little humidity too, through the middle of the week. It's going to feel more like summer than it does like fall for now. Now, by the end of the week, Thursday into Friday, both of those days have a pretty good rain chance across our area. The weekend looking to be a bit drier, at least as of now. That could change, so keep on checking back for some updates as we go into that time frame. Early next week, we'll see what the tropics are doing. We'll have a quick break. Stay tuned, though. We have live reports from the mountains.